Hello, welcome back. Today is Monday the 7th of December, and if you follow my channel quite closely, you'd know over the last couple of weeks I really haven't done any gardening at all, and a couple of weeks before that I really haven't been doing much at all. The weather was just terrible and I had just other things going on. So I'm really pleased today because this morning I spent a couple of hours out in my front garden getting all of those bulbs that I bought about a month ago planted. So much later than I thought, but that was really good. I got some lawn edging, I dug that in, and then put 40 litres of peat-free compost. Actually, no, 100 litres of peat-free compost into that area. I dug it over quickly and got all of the bulbs planted, so I'm so pleased with that because I was really starting to worry that I wasn't going to get them in before Christmas. And also I have another YouTube channel, Erica's Little Welsh Life, that I kind of kicked off. I've had it for a couple of years actually, but I've only started uploading videos on it this last kind of couple of weeks now. And with my house, it needs lots of work doing. So I did my first video on that channel, which was showing around my living room. And I said in that video that I was going to be redecorating the lounge in a week. And I've been really enjoying getting on with that actually. It's one of those things that before I never really liked painting and stuff, but I kind of just got into the zone with it, and it's been amazing to see the transformation. So I've kind of been like busy with that. So this morning I got loads of the bulbs put in, and then I spent an hour just doing a few more coats of paint on one of the walls, and it was just really nice to do that. But I thought, we're in December now, it's not really a time of year where we get loads of stuff sown or planted. But I got in my advent calendar, I got a seed advent calendar this year. I got some red Baron onion seeds a couple of days ago. I think it was the 5th. And I thought, I have some other onions here, some Elsa Craig onions. And I have some onions here, which is called Batoon from the Heritage Seed Library. These are kind of like a perennial spring oniony type Welsh onion. So I thought, I'm going to put these in today. I'm going to sow them at least. With onions, they need around about 8 degrees centigrade to germinate. Okay, so I know already some people that grow the really, really big onions. They have already sown them a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and they've all germinated really nicely. But now, I don't know what the temperature out here is at the moment, but I'm pretty sure, on some of the cooler days, it is below 8 degrees out here. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to sow the 3 varieties in the 3 different trays that I've got here. And then I'm going to stack them up on my windowsill until they germinate indoors. And then I'm going to bring them out straight away into the into my cold frame. So that is my plan. And I'm just sat here talking to you like that. I should have been getting on with doing this. This time of year, really, there's not much going on in the garden, so it's quite nice to be able to come out here and get something sown. But it's really damp and wet. I'm actually sat on a carrier bag there, so I don't get a wet bum. So this one here that I'm going to be sowing is Elsa Craig. I got these in Wilko's actually. They're 50p and you get, I think, 400 seeds. And I've never successfully grown onions from seed until the harvest time, but I've always sown them every year. And something or other's happened where I've not ended up harvesting them, but they always germinate really well. So it's definitely worth giving these ones a go. There is 400 in the pack. And I've got a couple of other packs of these, this variety here. So I'm just going to go for it and just sow them all. Onion seeds, they look like kind of little bits of coal, I always think. But they're just so quick and simple to sow. What is really great about kind of growing crops over the winter as well is that you don't really have to look after them very much, because At the moment, I've got quite a lot of flowers. I've got my broad beans still in the polytunnel, or not in the polytunnel, sorry, in my little greenhouse. And I sowed my broad beans maybe like a month ago or something. I've watered them once and they were in a really small amount of compost. And I thought, oh my goodness, what's happened to them? I've not really been out here much. And I had a look at them today and they are looking really good. The compost is a little bit dry, but the actual flowers are, the plants are really thriving. So I'm really happy with that. So yeah, it's definitely worth, if you can, get things that you can kind of overwinter and stuff. With these trays as well, I've got trays with holes in here, and then I've got kind of this base one here that doesn't have any holes in it. So with that Elsa Craig one as well, I've just got to make sure I put a label on it, because otherwise I'll have no idea which ones are which. The next ones I'm going to sow here are the Heritage Seed Library ones. What's good about these are they are pretty much semi-perennial. They kind of form really big clumps of onions, and then once a year you can kind of like split them in half, eat half of it, and then the other half will grow then. So with this, I think there's only 50 seeds. So I'm just going to open it over here because I don't want to lose any. I find that growing onions like this is so much better than putting one seed in each module. I did that like a couple of years ago, and they come up so thin like little blades of grass. And I find if you've got them kind of clumped more together, they help support each other, like almost like grass. They kind of grow up like grass in a big clump, and they all kind of help each other stand up. And then once, you know, they get quite big, you get a really big root ball on them, but then you can just kind of dip them in water, all of the soil comes off, and then you can kind of like gently tease them apart. And that is, for me, I find it so much easier to kind of manage than if you have them growing kind of in individual little modules. I do know the people though that kind of grow the show onions or the really big onions, they actually do put them in modules, and then they make these like little sticks with a little ring round to help support them, which I suppose if you're doing a couple of them, that's fine. But if you want to grow like, you know, 6,000 or something, you know, or not 6,000, like 600 seeds, that would be quite hard work. Also, this is a really great time if you want to sow your leeks as well. I actually was quite successful with growing leeks from seed last year, but then I've got them still in the allotment, but they don't seem to be doing very well at all. So but again, it's just one of those things that will just sit, you know, growing slowly over the winter, and it's one less job to deal with in March when you've got 50,000 seeds that you want to grow. So these are the Heritage Seed Library ones, and in hindsight, there was hardly any seeds in here really, so I probably should have put these in quite a small pot, but who knows. We will see what happens with those. And then the last ones are these, which are the Red Baron. Did anyone else get a seed advent calendar this year? I've seen a few people on Instagram with the same ones as this. And I don't know, it doesn't say on here how many seeds are in each pack, but it does give you information about the variety. Red Baron, usually you get them in as little seeds, as little onion sets that you plant in around February, March time out in the garden. And I always find they really bolt quite quickly, but from seed, they should be okay. So let's see. But yeah, I don't know how many seeds are in here. And it is really cold. I found like this morning when I was working in the front garden, kind of did like 45 minutes of gardening, and then I had to come in, do a little bit of housework for kind of like half an hour just to warm up, and then go back out there. So yeah, once I finish this, I will be going back inside. But as I said, I'm really enjoying doing some of the housework, and sorry, I know this isn't gardening related, but when we moved into the house 3.5 years ago, we kind of thought it needs a lot of work, everything's going to be ripped out. So I haven't really done anything. Every single room in the house has like lining paper up, and in the living room it had like flowery wallpaper and then lining paper, and I kind of thought, well, there's no point doing anything because we're going to rip that all down and then have it plastered. But I can't believe just painting it now, I think it's going to, it's so much nicer to live in. So it's kind of really spurred me on now to get the rest of the house done. We had some like plumbing issues going on in our bathrooms, and I've now had those fixed as well. So it's just like really exciting. So yeah, but if you are interested in seeing what I'm talking about, I actually did a video on my other channel last Wednesday. I'm trying to do like one video a week on there just because it kind of spurs me on to get the next job done. So yes, go ahead and look at that. I'll put a link to that above in the cards. But yeah, I just can't believe, like, how much nicer it looks. But I kind of regret starting it before Christmas. But I do find, with my house that actually always kind of November, December, January time, you kind of start to think about the jobs that need to be done inside because you stop doing so much outside. Sorry, I've just gone off on one there. This is the Red Baron. There wasn't as many seeds as the 400 in the with the Elsa Craigs. I'm just going to get these covered now. You can also use a heated propagator for these, but once they germinate, you just need to take them straight off the heat. Otherwise, they would just go really leggy, and they don't actually need heat to grow. Well, actually, they need above 5 degrees to grow, but once they have germinated, that's the main thing. You're not going to get them germinating unless they're at that 8 degrees. So, yeah, but apart from that, you really don't need to have them on the heat or anything. If you have any tips for how to successfully grow your onions until harvest time next year, let me know, because I'm always really interested to hear tips and stuff. My hands are freezing. Tell you what as well, actually, just getting out in the garden when it's cold, you do get cold quite quickly, but it's always just really nice to get fresh air in your lungs. So I'm definitely glad I've been out here today. So now I'm just going to give these a quick water, and then we will work out what we're going to do with them next. Oh my goodness, my watering can is so full. We've had so much rain recently. I'm just going to... So they've all been watered now, and I've just stacked them up like this so I can go and put them on a windowsill inside the house so they can germinate. Yeah, I'll probably leave them for about a week stacked up like this, and then I will bring them out and put them into my cold frames. I'm hoping that, a hungry slug overwintering in there doesn't munch them all. But that is really how simple it is to quickly sow some onions so you can save yourself a job next year. I really hope you've enjoyed watching this video today. If this is the first time you watch one of my videos, please do hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you can be notified of all of my latest videos. As ever, YouTube have some videos up on the screen now that they think you'll like, so please go ahead and watch those, and I will catch up with you in the next episode. Bye!